Hello everyone, this is Trista. So today my talk is around how to grow and mentor an open source community and achieve collaboration with over 117 listed corporations. Wow, it's so long. But really today's talk is all around like how to maintain or how to operate your community, your open source. There is something about myself. I'm the Trista, the co-founder and CTO of SphereEx, which is like a startup company around the providing the database AI management platform or distributed database solution. So my area, of course, around the database, around the distributed database, about the database management. So, but apart from that, I love open source. That's why I'm the Apache member. I'm the Apache incubator mentor, and now to provide like helps or supports to 3 incubator projects. That is BRPC, AJE, and Huge Graph. So I'm the mentor of such incubator projects. Sometimes I will post some articles or Twitter around the open source, around the database. So if you have some interest in such topics, welcome to give a visit at my GitHub or Twitter. Yeah, so that's the basic information about myself. Today, my talk is the mind map about today's content. Before we dive into today's slides, I just want to give an overview around today's content. But I also want to give some notes. The first that when people speak of the community or open source, some of the people they are the bullish type. I mean, they like to read some the articles or paper materials around the open source, like how to maintain your open source, what's the open source. But I'm the program person, and I want to do something and to know more, like the practical type. So what I said today, it's all from my experience. I think they are valuable, so I want to share them to you. The next one is around that community. If you are healthy community or active community, yes, really have some same shared factors or attributes. But different communities also have their different properties or attributes around this community, have different features or characters. So today I want to share some the basic or the same the tips or factors for your community, and you can use them for your project, your open source. But then you also need to consider the specific idea or points around your project, your open source, because when you apply some the basic idea around this open source, yeah, you can have a better the open source community. But if you want to become the special one or different one, you really need to consider the specific idea or points around your open source. The first one is a very important question. It's about your project's value, because that's the foundation for everything. Think about this question. When a person, if they want to visit your project, maybe they just want to give a glance at your project. Why? What's the reason? Because they will judge this project can help me fix some issue, or this project can give me what's the values this project can bring to me. So that's why I invite you to ask this question for yourself. What's the value does your project bring to the user? Yeah. And if your project can help user fix the minor issue, then your project or community maybe in the future just to have the hundreds of the people around this community because it is too small. But like the database or like this project diagrams, it's a very wonderful project to help open source project and help user to draw some workflow or like a mind map. So you can see it received over 27,000 stars because to draw some the workflow or draw some the mind map is the common and necessary for most of the people to do such things. And this project can help them fix some issues. So this project becomes successful and most people want to use it. That also means this project can receive many attentions and many feedback from their users. And I also can give an example it's around your future feature or future value, because some of the project one day will retire. Why? Because people found that there is no need to use this project. They don't want to use it. So then there's no people join this community, and the team of this project, they also lose their hope or belief about this project. They give it up. So you need to make the planning. You also consider that this project can grow up along with the time, and what's the future feature and the future plan for your project. It's very important. Okay, so let's take Apache Sharding Sphere for example. You can see here Apache Sharding Sphere is the ecosystem to transfer any database into a distributed database system and enhance it with the sharding, elastic scaling, or encryption features. That's the value of this project. Database, it's everyone need it, or every companies need it. They need to protect or store their data, the so important asset for this company, right? So that means this project can help most of the internet companies, right? And second, the data encryption or distributed system, that's all face to the future, because believe me that most of the people, no matter they're in the 2022 or maybe 10 years ago, they also need these great features like the sharding, like distributed, like encryption, like elastic scaling. That's why this project received over 15,000 stars, and also have over 300 contributors in this community. Also, it have released many versions to improve this his bug fix or have more great feature or enhancement, do some enhancement. And that's the value of the project. And that's why this community receive a lot of honors. So also, that's another reason why people want to have their successful open source, because some of the people believe that if I have a successful open source community, then one day I can create a company around the database, around this community, around this open source project, because I can provide the support or service, or have the advanced features based on this successful community. Yeah, that's true. That's one of the benefits of your open source. But I also want to remind that the success of your community doesn't mean you can get the same successful from your startup. It's a very totally different story, because when you entering the startup industry, you found that you need to change your mind and your role. You need to balance the feature, the open source and your business. Yeah, the open source can bring many potential the customers to your business. But you know that because of the open source, people don't want to pay your money for your advanced features. You need to make a clear and exact and attractive plan for your startup, for your business part. So you also need to find that your working is not just around the coding or programming. You also need to deal with the HR or the staff or the fundraising, such things. So think twice about your stuff. So the next one is about the asset of your project. First part is the kernel. So the kernel part, it's like the necessary or primary work around this project. Like if you want to invite more guests or contributor into your house, into your a project or community, you need to first create your department, right? Apartment, right? So you need to do some like infrastructure work to create your community, to create your house, and like the code base, your test, your workflow. That's very necessary, and I recommend GitHub because many people and or newcomers use GitHub to can quickly start up their open source community, and there are a lot of actions can help you do some CI/CD work. So GitHub doesn't give me any money, but I also recommend it to our users. Yeah, so the next one is about programming language. You also need to consider it because programming language also means how big your community will be in the future. Because if you use some the programming, yeah, they're so wonderful and people like it, but you found that there are fewer persons or developers use this project or use this language. Therefore, you will become a little troubled that to get easily to get more people to join this community because people don't know this language or they're not so they can not do a better have the better programming around this skill or a programming skill around this language. So it's very important. And you also need to consider it's not just about your community, it's about your performance and the ecosystem of this programming language can bring to your community. Yeah, the next one that infrastructure is very important, but that will help your project to grow up quickly because I believe that everyone hope have a healthy and active community. That means we will have more people join this community. Then if there is no such infrastructure like the test or workflow or CI/CD, then this community is not sustainable, right? So for the future, you need to do a lot of effort at the beginning. The next part is about the assets of your project around the shell. The shell asset, it's like, it's necessary, it's important, but it's all around your kernel part. If you have a very great house, then you consider how to decorate your house, how to pave the road for your visitor to visit your house, visit your project, your community. So this the blogs, documents, and the regulations or manual or planning. It's also to show yourself, tell others that what the value you will bring to them and how to quick start up this project and what we're doing recently. If you're interested in such skill or this area, welcome to join. So if for example, people will just give 1 second glance to this your project, then how to get how to make them stay here or have the more interest in this project? The first thing for you is the show all of the stuff you can provide to your users. Then people have more chance to visit this project. Your project can be Googled, and then people will have more an easy way to visit your project. Oh, so this is a case. It's about Apache Sharing Sphere. We really do a lot of the shell asset creating work. Here you can see a lot of the article, a lot of the video, and we also do a lot of the translation around our community. But believe me, if your projects have a great value, they can really help people. And when your community become a larger, then there will have a lot of users. They are willing to write some articles and contribute their post or articles to your community. Here, we have a call for paper, and a lot of people willing to contribute what they wrote to about this community, experience, and left their comment here and tell me that they really wrote a lot of articles about this project. So in this slide, I want to share some a great idea around Apache way. That's why I like Apache. I like open source because you found there are very wonderful ideas about how to maintain your open source project or community. First, it's very important that the idea community over code, because if you just have the code base and you have no the community or documents, then you found that the code is your coding or your code base is just no people want to give it attention, because people don't know if they want to use the project. They need to dive into its coding, this programming. That's too hard for today for a lot of users. So, and also, if our team cannot get the feedback or attention from the users, from our contributors, then they found that I don't want to wait a lot of time in this community because no one want to use it, no one gave me attention. So that's why I always remind other the moderator that community over code. It's very important. But how to maintain your community? Here is a great idea, is that to create the contribution system, like the level system, because like Apache, right? They have the user level or contributor level, like you just fix some typo of your document. Then this person will become a contributor. But if you want to become the committer, you really need to do a lot of efforts and spend a lot of time in this community. Then the PMC, Project Management Committee, will vote this contributor to become the committer of the project. That also means this person earned his authority, because when he did a lot of work here, he found that he belongs to this community, have a lot of knowledge about this project. He can guide others. He can provide his help to others. What he said, people are willing to believe, because people will think it's professional. What you did can be seen or can be recognized on GitHub and by others. Is very important. When everything, especially communication, is open, so what you did is open for everyone. You can find that, this the coding snip is written by person A, then people will think A really did a lot of work here. So what he written or what he wrote or what he cited, it's more the beneficial or acceptable for other users. Yeah. So make everything, especially communication, it's open. Therefore, more people can have more chance to join this community because they know what is happening here. Yeah. And another important that if you really want to get some more attention or feedback from others, I guess you need to create many cooperation or interaction with other media or the other communities or the other organization, because if you have some connection with another community, then you will affect the people from another, all of the people from another community. That will become efficient than you just attracting one person to join this community. So we interact with another media and with another Apache top level project. We also have some code meetup together, and we attended the Stack Overflow podcast, and that will make that Apache shooting Sphere Twitter have a lot of followers, because they found, because we affect the a bunch of the people, not just one individual. And people, they listen to Stack Overflow, then they will know that there is a wonderful project, and then they will give it a star or become the follower of this Twitter, of this account. So that's another efficient way for you to promote your project. Yeah, so you can see here, we also give a lot of news. Recently, we have new committers because we really want to encourage our committers. They really did a lot of work, so their efforts need to be appreciated here. So we give a lot of Twitter around this news, and the new committers, they feel happy, they feel recognized and appreciated here, and they also want to do more. Vice versa, this community also practice their skill sets. They learn a lot of more skills from this community, a lot of new knowledges in this community. They can get a connection to the right person in their industry. That's why they want to stay here, because they feel happy, they feel appreciated, they feel that they improve their skills, and that will all great for their career, for their life. Yeah, so that's the basic thing around the open source about your community. Here is our partner list here, and I guess in certain level, it also convinced that what I said sometimes it's correct, right? Because we really receive a lot of users and user cases. They think that this project is so great. The last one, it's about persistence. It's another very important factor for your community. Trust the process, because we cannot make our community become very active at the beginning. You need to pay more attention, more time and efforts in this community. So trust the process and be patient with your time. And last, you will found with your effort, with the time of this community, and you achieve the goal that you expected maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So good luck.